The Delaware County Commissioner meeting for March 22nd, 2018 is now in session. Would you stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning. To my right is fellow Commissioner Vice President Barb Lewis, and to my left is Jeff Benton, Commissioner, and serving over as our clerk today, and our Administrator, Mike Romer. With that, let's proceed.
Resolution number 18-296, in the matter of approving the electronic record of the proceedings from regular meeting held March 19th, 2018.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-296. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public or elected comment this morning. Resolution number 18-297, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants and batch number CMAPR 0321, memo transfers and batch numbers MTAPR 0321, and procurement card payments and batch numbers PCAPR 0321.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-297. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-298, in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion vote.
Vote on motion 18-298. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-299, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application to the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Division of Emergency Medical Services grant for the training of personnel and the purchase of equipment used for training and education.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chief Schuling, EMS Department. Each year, we return to the Board of Commissioners asking for your approval to submit or apply to this grant. Each year, the Ohio Department of Public Safety divides, or I think divides probably a bad word, the seatbelt fines. And based upon each department's necessity, needs, socioeconomics, they take all those different factors into consideration and award the monies appropriately. Each year we bring in or we receive or awarded about $1,500 to $3,500. This money is used for education, CPR training. We use it a lot for the outreach. This funds the EMS, how we go to the other departments throughout the county and do the first aid and CPR training. I'd happy to answer any questions you may have, and I recommend your approval.
Well, it's good the money, the fines are being put to good use like this.
Definitely.
Not just put in some big pot where they could get lost.
Vote.
Vote on motion 18-299. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Excuse me, Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-300, in the matter of approving an amendment to the Master Services Agreement with Change Healthcare Technology Enabled Services, LLC, successor in interest to PST Services Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
With our contract with the EMS billing service, formerly known as Per Se Technologies, which is a subsidiary of McKesson Incorporated, this is merely a name change to Change Healthcare. Due to the master services agreement with this company, we required your approval for this name change. It's simply a name
Can't
change.
change the name without us, huh?
That's it, right?
Gee.
Are you familiar with the successor firm?
I'm sorry?
Are you familiar with the successor firm?
It's the same one, it's just simply a name change.
Oh, just, okay,
It
they
is
weren't acquired or
Nothing
merged?
more than a name change, yeah.
No
Okay.
merger, no nothing. It's just
Change Healthcare and McKesson, Mr. Hoekstra will probably answer a little more to that, but I believe it is just when Per Se Technologies was purchased by McKesson, this was a foreseeable change. Outside of that, everything else is staying the same.
any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-300. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Resolution number 18-301, in the matter of approving Title 4D contracts between the Child Support Enforcement Agency, the Delaware County Prosecutor's Office, and the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, Joyce Bowens, Director of Child Support. These are two of our 3 annual contracts that we have with our county partners. This is for the Sheriff's Office and the Prosecutor's Office, and this allows us to draw federal funding down for magistrates and prosecutors to enforce child support cases, and I'm recommending your approval.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-301. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Thank you.
Resolution number 18-302, in the matter of awarding a bid and approving a contract for general contractor for the Delaware County Auditor's Office renovations, Delaware, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. We received 2 bids for this project for renovations at the auditor's office to help maximize the use of their space over there. Elford was the lowest and best bidder, came at $115,234. The estimate was $118,000, so they're under the estimate. Recommend approval.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Just a question, this was budgeted.
Yes, it's in the auditor's office budget, yes.
Okay. That's all I got.
Vote on motion 18-302. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-303, in the matter of approving sanitary sewer subdividers agreements for North Lake Woods, Section 1, and Berlin Manor, Section 1.
So moved.
Motion made by Commissioner Lewis, seconded by Commissioner Benton. Discussion.
Morning, Commissioners. Tiffany Mag with the Regional Sewer District. Both of these are our standard subdividers agreements. Four Winds Drive is, the North Lake Woods is actually near Four Winds Drive off of 3637 area. And then Berlin Manor is near Cheshire Elementary. I think we talked about it last week, just south and west of the Cheshire and Old State intersection. So we recommend your approval.
Any questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-303. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-304, in the matter of amending the user charges for Delaware County Regional Sewer District in conformity with provisions of Section 6117-02 of the Ohio Revised Code and County Rate Resolution 16-1313.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
So this is an amended resolution from a previous one that we had over the years. What we want to do going forward is we're going to establish a new fats, oils, and grease program where we actually provide everyone, all of our commercial users, with a food service license, and then we give them a surcharge based on that license. And this would work a little bit in coordination with the health department and that licensing grade that they give them. What we used to do is we used to go out for a single day and sample their location and give them a surcharge based on that single day of sampling. So their bills would fluctuate over the quarters, and we get a lot of questioning based on what that bill was. So this will allow it to be a flat rate for those industries and make their budgeting process a little simpler.
You'll reevaluate from time to time to make sure the rate's appropriate.
Right, we'll continue to do sampling just to make sure that nothing is out of line, but we would basically try to keep them in check with that process.
Yeah, I would think that would be good for the restaurant industry as well. They would prefer to know.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
Certainty.
a good change. I think everyone's going to eventually, see that this is a very positive.
Does it apply to other than restaurants, or is it?
Yeah, it does. Restaurants are like kind of the easy one to talk about because everybody, knows what they can dump into the system and how it can affect our system. But yes, it would be any commercial user. So it could be like an auto parts store or anything that has that type of a sampling process that we perform.
Okay. Good, sounds like a nice step forward.
Any questions or other comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 18-304. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill? Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Item number 12 has been pulled from the agenda today. So, number 13, resolution number 18-305, in the matter of establishing and amending charges for the Delaware County Regional Sewer District in conformity with provisions of Section 6117-02 of the Ohio Revised Code.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion.
So this is another resolution that we're amending based on our updated rules and regs that I have on session here as well this morning. What we're going to do going forward is we've changed our policies to where We will no longer be refunding the inspection fees at the completion of construction to the developers, but in exchange for not refunding that fee, which is typically very minimal, we're going to go out and actually complete cleaning and televising of the sewers at the end of construction, as well as at the end of the 5-year maintenance period. This is something that developers had to do previously, so it'll probably be a wash on their books as far as not getting the refunded inspection fee, but we perform that work for them. So this should streamline that effort.
Any questions or comments? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-305. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-306, and the matter of adopting rules, regulations, standard drawings, standard sanitary notes, and construction and material specifications for the Delaware County Regional Sewer District.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion?
So this is a really exciting one to have on session this morning. I actually brought a copy of what we've developed over the last year and a half. What we did is we prepared rules and regulations which outline our policies that we have at the district. This is something that we never had previously. I think we had kind of a chain of resolutions that adopted different policies, and instead of using that process going forward, we're going to actually have these rules and regulations published on our website, and will allow everyone to understand what we do and why we're doing it, and it'll be black and white as to what our policies are. The second thing is the construction and materials standards, as well as the standard details and notes. Those are all for construction, so whenever someone comes in and wants to know, what do you require as far as pipe and manholes and backfill, they can go to our website, look at this document, and see exactly what we need. So all of these documents are basically documenting what we already do. It's just something that we've never had in the past on our website and easily accessible to kind of show what those requirements are.
Questions or comments?
Boy, I just think it's a tremendous step forward, and I want to congratulate our sewer director and also you, Tiffany, for working on this, and the staff, I know.
Yeah, I think we had our entire office in the engineering department working on it, as well as some of our collections and maintenance guys had a major hand in the pump station requirements, and we actually developed a whole entire set of details that anyone can just download and see exactly what we require on pump stations, and we're probably one of the only districts in the state of Ohio to have that. It's very cutting edge that we have such good requirements that we can actually post for people to pick up and go with.
I remember being in many meetings and having many conversations over, these are from developers, and they said, well, we just don't know ahead of time, and we need to know. It would save us a lot of time and money, and now it's all spelled out. And then even with you not having to answer question upon question, and so it should save your time too, a lot.
Yeah, and we've actually had these out in draft form, and a few developers and consultants have been using them a little bit on some of our very recent projects. So we've got some feedback from that and been able to tweak them a little bit as needed. So I think these are really good, and we'll continue to look at them annually and make updates as needed. So
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the most frequent criticisms I hear is our nebulous standards and interpretations of how to get plans through and so on. So it's great that we're formally documenting all those, and then also adding it online is a huge help. That way updates can get made easily, everybody can access it very easily, and so again, I applaud the whole team for putting this together, and this really does help everyone. It helps your team, it helps the developers and builders and so on, so helps economic development to be able to point to progressive things like this as the way we're managing the county, so good work.
I have a comment as well. I was going to comment after we finish today. They beat me to it. I think we're all, based on what you've already heard, what I'm about to say, I think we're very, very pleased with the direction that environmental services is going. Countless comments in the community, the development community. They just want to understand the rules that they have to play by and facilitate and make it as easy as possible to understand what the county's expectations are. And so to Mike and to you, I really appreciate all the work that's been done in the last couple of years.
Absolutely. Thanks for the comments. Appreciate it.
Anything else? Vote?
Vote on motion 18-306. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 18-307, in the matter of approving a professional services agreement with Black and Veatch Corporation for the Central Alum Creek Land Evaluation Project.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion.
This contract is for us to perform an environmental assessment on the new Central Alum Creek treatment plant site. As you know, we're in contract right now, and we have 30 days to ensure that the site is suitable to build a treatment plant on. So this contract will allow us to do soil borings and figure out if there's any wetlands or any type of issue that would prevent us from building a plant there. So we recommend your approval.
This was part of your plan all along, to go through this
Yeah.
step.
Yes, good point. Yes, we would have had to have done this as part of the facilities plan anyway, so we're just authorizing this piece to go forward a little sooner than it would have otherwise.
It's part of the contract,
Right,
and obviously you wouldn't want the property if it doesn't.
exactly. Right.
Vote on motion 18-307. Mr. Merrill? Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye. Thanks, Tiffany.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Mr. Frommer?
Yeah, Commissioners, I just to kind of follow on with what we've talked about with the rules and regs, we really, appreciate the approval of it today, and I really think that it was a fun exercise to look at the policies. I think there's a lot of things on streamline efficiencies, that were implemented with the policies that I think go in line with a lot of your challenge to the different departments, like the sampling. We dedicated one staff person, or two staff people to that continuously, and with the new program, we'll be able to have one. So just things like that where we're able to really kind of hit that efficiency. So just wanted to make a couple comments about that. And then next week, when Dawn's up here, she will have much more to report, I'm sure, than I normally do.
And much more eloquent.
So. Yes, much more eloquent. So,
Pressure's on you now, though.
yeah. So anyway, there'll be no sewer next week. But anyway, I don't have anything else to report today.
Mr. Benton?
Really just a couple of things. We've got a legislative update meeting that we meet with Representatives Brenner and Carfagna on a regular basis to see what's going on at the State House. I'll be hopefully hearing more about the proposal to take over the Board of Education Indigent Defense in exchange for eliminating.
Board of Elections.
What did I say?
Education.
Board of
You
Education.
get
Well,
the
we
rules all
could
set.
take over.
Yeah. Yeah, we
why not?
want to make that real clear.
Let's
Superintendent's coming.
broaden the plan. Let's go for the Board of Education, too. Board of Elections, Indigent Defense in exchange for eliminating the local government fund, which financially would be a pickup, but there are always other issues, so I'll hopefully learn more about that. And we got regional planning tonight. So.
I have a comment on that. I made a comment at last week's CCO meeting. I said, one of the issues here is the unintended consequences of something like this, and the role the counties play in the elections, and if it's handled at the state level, is that the dynamics of governors changing? Does that change how we look at the voting? And my biggest fear is someday online voting. You talk about issues with inappropriate voting and who's voting for who. I think that's a very dangerous. And so there is some, I think, value maintaining at the county level to have some protection. But like I said, I think we're open to the discussion, but there are things that we might regret down the road if we're not careful. So it needs to be more than just financial. So my thoughts, at least.
Well, if we just gave them the Board of Education instead of Board of Elections,
Yeah.
that wouldn't be an issue.
Well, we probably have other issues.
Okay, yeah.
Mr. Lewis.
I visited Alpha, and Alpha's an organization, and they describe themselves, I think it's a great description, helping individuals with disabilities succeed. And they have several different parts. They help people train people, I should say, to be employed. There's also integrated daycare in which people can do all sorts of different things, and then they can go out in the community too and work with others, and supportive living, transportation, and again, more work training. And it's a tremendous community of tremendous community value, and a lot of dedicated people make Alpha work. One gentleman has been there, and he heads their work training, and he's been there 27 years. And the contracts that they get with, for instance, Emerson Electric, a huge electrical company, that contract was 30 years. So, I mean, and they mentioned several other contracts that they had with different businesses and long-term contracts. And so it was a really good visit. Liz Owens is the executive director. I think they will be here for the community enhancement grants too. They showed me a little project that they would like to undertake while I was there, and I said, well, you know, come on in and talk to us about it. So anyway, it was a great visit, great organization. That's it.
I only have one thing today. We talked Monday about the loss to our community of Kevin Crowley, and I got an email from Delaware Rotary yesterday. Delaware Rotary is going to $500 grant to go to Penn, and they're going to encourage members next Monday at the meeting to contribute. But it made me think about the fact that we as Delaware County elected officials, I know your spouses serve on the boards, and all the elected officials that serve in county government, and all employees who serve in county government, I think when someone has given as much as Kevin gave, this is an ideal time to honor him by, at least I have a check here that I'm going to encourage all the county employees, all county elected officials to consider a contribution in honor of Kevin, directed to Penn. And here's my check. So anyway, I guess we'll have the commissioner entry right out here. Maybe they'll be the collection point, but I just think it's an appropriate thing to do for somebody who's so dedicated to our county. I'm told that our meeting was heard by the staff at Penn Monday, and what I was told was it brought tears. I don't think we were, I think it's just the feeling for Kevin and the fact that we were recognizing Kevin's service to the county. But it was, I was told it was very emotional for them. And so please, all county employees, there is no one who's been more dedicated to this county than Kevin was. There is no one more dedicated to serving the needs of this county than Penn is. And would encourage certainly all elected officials and your staffs to the degree you're able to give to think about that over the next few days. And I'm just going to suggest an arbitrary deadline, end of the month.
Okay.
If you have an interest in giving, please keep that in mind. And with that, I don't know if the two of you have any comments or not.
The check would be made out to people in
Yeah,
need.
people in need. You might put in honor of Kevin Crowley in the
Okay,
footnote.
okay.
Again, I know the board has been meeting.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewis's husband is on the board, my wife's on the board, and they're meeting about, you know, how they go forward.
Right.
And that presents a challenge. Kevin was so instrumental in leading that organization for decades, and to lose him unexpectedly like this presents a challenge to the board. I think they remain obviously very committed to the mission, but you know exactly how it takes shape going forward will take some time to figure out. But I think we can all rest assured Penn will continue.
Yes, yes.
And will continue to be probably the leading force for helping those in need in our county, and they do a great job of it. So again, and I would echo Commissioner Merrill's comments about anything you could do to financially support Penn. They have a very lean operation. They do
really
not
do.
waste money. They spend their money very wisely and very, very frugally, very carefully, which is part of the success of the organization. You know, they just are very careful. And that's a good example of the private sector taking care of people that need some help, and doing it very efficiently. So again, I know we've committed and we'll continue to help fund and so on. So I would encourage everyone to do that as well.
Right,
So-
and just a word that they are continuing to serve everyone pinned right now, and they haven't missed a beat as far as the people in need who need help. I know there was a really heartwarming story. There's one lady, I believe they only have 4 or 5 on staff, as you said.
Very lean.
Very lean, and so there, one little lady is 96 years old, and they had not been able to tell her before of Kevin's death, and so she walked in that morning and learned about it, and of course, you know, broke down and cried, and then cried for a little bit, but then a client came in, and so she just wiped her eyes, and she said, "It's time to go back to helping people now," and she did it. I mean, just tremendous resolve and courage for all the staff and the board. So they will continue. They'll make it work.
Right.
And, Don, maybe you get with Jane and ask that she put out some sort of email kind of summarizing what we've just said and extend the challenge to the county elected officials and employees. If you'd do that, appreciate it. Yeah, he was a man of few words.
He was.
But,
A lot of energy.
But a man of
A
action.
lot of energy, yeah. Yes.
Anything else? I do think we have need for executive sessions, so.
Resolution number 18-308, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of employment, promotion, compensation of a public employee or public official for pending or imminent litigation.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-308. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
With that, we are now in executive session.
Surprised there's nothing direct from Columbus.
Resolution number 18-309, in the matter of adjourning out of executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 18-309. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
If there is no other business to bring before us, we are adjourned.
Whoops.